authentic action. And one of the things that all of us are learning to do is be more aware as we have reactions to situations in our lives, even thoughts that we may have, and be able to make another choice if what is going on inside of each of us is something that's not pleasing. So today, life is a mirror is number one that we're looking at. What we want is another, and the 18-inch journey, which is the from here to here. Life is a mirror. If you frown at it, it frowns back. If you smile, it returns the greeting. And life is truly a mirror. We have mistakenly been hypnotized to believe that what's out there is separate from us. It in fact is not. What you expect to have happen, how you expect people to behave, how you expect life to unfold for you is a mirror of your subconscious, in most cases, or conscious beliefs. And some of those subconscious beliefs are group beliefs, like our society believes certain things, and so we have come to expect things to be a certain way. What I'd like for you to remember is that you are spirit creating your life. And you can change any seeming reality by changing your mind. And if it hasn't changed for you, then it's because on some level you have not truly believed that it's possible. You've heard of instantaneous healings and all kinds of unusual, what we might call miracles. But what they are is that individual reaching a state of pure divinity in that moment, and everything transforms. And so it's possible for one person, it means it's possible for all of us, whatever it is that we're encountering. What matters most is how you see yourself. It's a great picture of a cat seeing itself as a lion. And how many of us see ourselves as that magnificent, grand, beautiful, wonderful being that each of us is. When's the last time you looked in the mirror and said, wow, you're fabulous? This morning. Good. Somebody said this morning. And isn't that great? Because that's really the truth. It is. Even if you think, oh, well, maybe this should be changed, that should be changed, the thing is that you are a perfect reflection of the divine as you. So 3 topics I'd like to explore. Manifesting with Matt. Everyone is you pushed out, and life is a mirror. And only if my PowerPoint will work.
The world is yourself pushed out. Ask yourself what you want, and then give it to yourself. Do not question how it will come about. Just go on your way knowing the evidence of what you have done must appear, and it will. Okay, so a lot of different layers to that, and here's what speaks to me. Here's how I interpret it, right? What we have going on in here, our thoughts, our beliefs, our feelings, will reflect out here. Everything in here gets pushed out here, right? I say this in a lot of videos, it's like a mirror, right? That's it, it's like a mirror, it's like a reflection. This world, this 3D reality will reflect what we believe about ourselves. So if we believe that we're not worthy of money, if we believe we're not worthy of happiness, if we believe we're not worthy of a relationship or whatever it is, if we believe we are not worthy of those things in here, we're not going to be worthy of them out here. We will not see them out here. Again, it's only in a reflection. If we feel that in here, if we have those beliefs about ourselves in here and about the world in here, it will be pushed out and we will see it here. This 3D reality around us, it's not the enemy. Okay, it's not the enemy. It's just showing us what is happening inside of us. It's a direct result. You want to know what's going on inside here and inside here, look out here. You're going to find it, right? You're going to find it. But knowing that the world is you pushed out, Neville says, ask yourself what you want and give it to yourself. So if you want to see more money, if you want to see more love, more abundance, more happiness, whatever that is for you, give it to yourself. Give it to yourself. And how? By feeling it first in here, by claiming it as yours now, right now. You have the power to do that, to say, it is mine now. It's a done deal. It's inevitable. It is mine. It is finished. There's no other way for it to happen. It is mine. And again, don't question how this is going to happen. Don't try to, mess up the middle part and try to figure it out. Just go on knowing that what you feel in here, that evidence of what you feel in here must appear out here, because everything is you pushed out. This whole world is you pushed out. And again, knowing this, we know that life isn't up to chance, right? Oh, this just happened to me. How random. How random is this? Oh, I don't like this. Oh, this shouldn't have been like, no, it's not up to chance. We create it in here first. We create it in that inner world and that inner imagination. We create what we want to be. We create the scenarios we want to happen. Whatever manifestation you want, give it to yourself. Give it to yourself now and claim it as yours now, and persist in this assumption and idea that it is yours now, and start living from that state that I have my desire now, that it is already mine, that it's a done deal. Oh, it feels so good. Dip into your imagination, right? That imaginary state, and feel it. When you see it in your imagination, you are actually there. Just because you're not there physically, because you're still here in this, no, you're there mentally, and that's just as powerful. You're there, you can see it, and it's real. So live in that state. Continue to affirm over and over again, I have my manifestation now. I have that desire now. This is me now. Ah, it feels so good. It's so wonderful. Isn't it wonderful? Thank you, thank you, thank you. I feel so ecstatic. I have my manifestation. I'm living the life of my dreams. This is what I wanted. Give it to yourself in here first. Feel it with conviction. Create from the inside, and it will show on the outside. So powerful. I love that quote. The world is you pushed out. You don't have to worry about anything else. You don't have to worry about any outside circumstances, because you're creating everything from the inside. Create what you want in here. Create what you want in here. Believe it with all your conviction, and it has to show out here. It will be pushed out here, and you will experience the life with the manifestations that you desire.
And it's interesting, when I was new at studying spirituality, one of the things that was true for me is that we were poor. We really didn't have enough to get by. And being the brand name snob that I was even having to buy no-name brand shampoo, which, I mean, God forbid that I had to use that. And our spiritual director at the time said exactly what he's saying. I said, but how can I feel it? Like, that's fake. That's just doesn't seem possible that if I think it in a picture in my mind, how is it possible that it's just somehow going to show up? And yet somehow wasn't up to me. The somehow was up to the spirit that I'm a part of, and it showed up. So if there is something that you're struggling with, recognize that when you start to feel it as if in your body, then it begins to start to draw to you. And for me, in that time, it was money. And the only thing I could imagine that I could conjure up that would give me that feeling, and I've shared this before, was going through a bank drive-through. And you know how they give you a receipt after, and it tells you what your bank balance is. Well, I would imagine myself driving through the drive-through and getting the little statement, and it said like millions and millions. There were so many zeros that it didn't fit on the page. And I would feel myself go, oh, wow, is this ever great? And within a matter of a year, the bank made a couple of mistakes that they never reversed, of $5,000 once and $10,000 another time, that were just put into our bank account. Came out of where? Spirit. We contacted the bank, said, you need to take this back. We were afraid to spend it because we thought, we'll have to pay it back with what? But they said, no, it's yours. You keep it, you spend it. We even got documentation saying, don't worry about it. And then I received an inheritance for $22,000 from an uncle that I had not talked to for, 15 years. It came from the most amazing places. So the how is not up to you. So if you're struggling with money, with health, with relationships, with a new home, with any kind of challenge, conjure up whatever image you can in your mind that has you believing that is already a past tense event, and that what you're experiencing now is that which you desire instead of what you're experiencing. And you know, I did that little visualization of the drive-through probably for 6 months, 4 or 5 times a day. So I was a tough nut to crack. It took a while for it to happen, but it did. And then it continued to. So I invite you to consider that you may think this is just hooey and all of that your mind is just these pictures that you're imagining. They are so much more than that. They are the direct line to the communication, to the source that creates everything. You can have a fabulous life in whatever area seems to not be so fabulous. Now, the caveat to that is that you cannot, let's say in a relationship scenario, force yourself to have someone love you, because that's including someone else in that vision. It's to see yourself, feel yourself being loved, and allow the right person to show up to be that love for you. In the case of money, for me, if I imagined I was earning it as a paycheck, I would have been seriously wrong, because it came from the bank of all places, and from the death of someone. Not at all what I would have imagined. So allow yourself to step out of the box of the circumstances that you're in, and allow spirit, through this beautiful power of imagination that you have and the sense of feeling you have in your body, to allow it to come to you, to become a reality. And also that every person we meet is a mirror, and here's what they teach us. So there's this motivational speaker, Tony Robbins, if any of you are familiar with him, and he was asked if it was hard to hypnotize people, and he replied, no, the difficulty is waking them up from the trance state that they're already in. And so his job isn't to implant ideas in people's minds, but to remove the limited thinking that you have to allow for new ideas to show up. So if there's some characteristic of a person which we like, that means that we have that positive trait in us too. Similarly, if there's some characteristic in a person that we don't like, that means that we have that characteristic in us too. But we don't wish to possess it, is all. So if you have a hate-on for somebody, maybe look in the mirror first and say, what is it about me that is pushing that button? And have some time, maybe journal about it, think about it, and then release it and change it. So what lessons can you learn from some of the negative emotions which people provoke in you? So number one, let's say you have an anger feeling. So I would suggest that you adopt a bigger picture thinking. Focus on the good and the positive things that are happening in the world instead of just seeing the negative ones. 2, if you're feeling grief, accept life for what it is. Accept the lessons it's throwing your way and work on reconnecting with your center. Grieve the loss you have experienced and then work towards moving on. And make it a deliberate choice. Fear, maybe you're experiencing fear. Understand that you can't control everything in life. Sorry to tell you. It took me about 50 years to figure that one out. And sometimes you need to let go of things not within your control. I would say most times you ought to let go of those things. Life is unpredictable. So might as well enjoy it in its unpredictability, and don't stay stuck in your comfort zone. I invite you to try new things. We had a room full of brave souls yesterday at our art class attempting to do something that they had never done before. The noise level and the laughter and the giddiness was just amazing. And I really embrace that for all of us. I would love to see you embrace that. Not necessarily the artwork, but just taking life as, oh, I wonder what crazy thing's going to happen next. And how am I going to handle it? Hatred. And I don't know if there's anyone in this room or in the audience online that has a hatred towards anyone or anything. I hope you don't. But treating yourself with a lot of love and forgiving yourself for the mistakes that you have made will allow for you to be forgiving of others and the mistakes they make. Because once you're able to do that, you're able to do the same for someone else. So I don't know, but I spent a lot of time beating myself up about some of the things that I could have done better. But what good does that do? I can't change the past. I can only change how I respond the next time round. So irritability. Have you ever been irritable? Anybody? There's a lot of laughter going on. So it must be at least one or two, right? So accept that not everybody will think like you, nor will they have the same opinions as you, and that's okay. It'd be nice if everybody agreed with us, but how boring would that be? If every day you went along knowing that everybody was just going to agree with you and say yes, 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 yes. It's like, come on, give me some resistance. Learn to value others' opinions, needs, and desires while respecting your own. And I mean, that just goes without saying. But in the moment of irritability, we forget, right? Jealousy. Have you ever been jealous? There are two words for jealousy in the Finnish language. One is jealous of coveting of things, and the other is being jealous of a lover. And it's interesting that there would be two distinct words for it, because they are two different forms of jealousy, aren't they? Jealous of the car that you have, or jealous of the lover that you have, you know? So be kind to yourself instead, and respect who you are in the current situation that you're in. Because you got there because it's perfect for you. So why be jealous? Look at the jealousy as, oh, I have this desire in me to experience something different. What is that? And how might I imagine it into my life? Guilt. Have you ever felt guilty? Never. Introspect and try to understand why, where, and when you lost touch with your truth. Because feeling guilty is basically thinking you should have, could have, would have, right? The thing is that once you know better, you do better. So once you realize this, it'll be easier to accept things for how they are. And this acceptance will take you closer to the ultimate truth. Blame. Have you ever blamed yourself or somebody else? So much easier back then, when you could just point your finger at someone and say, it's all your fault. Nothing to do with me. And here I am telling you, yeah, it's all you. Your life is your mirror. So take responsibility for yourself, your thoughts, your feelings and opinions, and don't blame the world. Instead, take responsibility for who you are and how you think. Because who you are is enough to make a difference. And then shame. Jean Jefferson, who's sitting here in the front row, said, in unity, the first thing I learned was there is no blame and no shame and no judgment in unity. And those are huge teachings that usually are not taught in churches or religious institutions. But we teach it here because that is the truth. Investigate your dark side, because we all have it. All those things that you have repressed within yourself. And then begin to slowly accept that part of yourself and try to find the positive in it. This will help you embrace and accept yourself completely. And that's why we say that it doesn't matter where you came from or what you did or the circumstances that you had in the past. This now moment, you can choose to reinvent yourself, to be the new you with this new awareness. And that can be hard to do, but you can start at any given moment. And sure, there may be other people around who are constantly saying, oh, there goes that person who did such and such. Fine. If they want to carry that bag of boulders with them as they're going through their day, let them. Give them yours too. So below the surface, appearances, we're all one. I talked about the Big George theory, the idea that on a microscopic level, there is no separation between us. And we all want the same thing. Any idea what that is? What do we want?
Love.
Love,
And acceptance.
Peace.
acceptance, peace. And love, I think, is acceptance, is peace. I think love kind of covers all of it, especially as an adult learning that love isn't romantic love, that love is this unconditional, beautiful experience. We may have very different ways of trying to get it, though, but it's what we all want. And those that don't understand how they're creating their life, I guess is the best way to put it, try to get love in some pretty disruptive ways. I mean, think of a little kid. They try to get your attention first by going, "Mommy," and then you don't listen. And then they go, "Mommy," and you still don't listen. And then they lie on the floor and take all their clothes off, and then you have to pay attention. And I look at anyone who's behaving badly in a situation and I think, you know what? They've been looking for love for so long that they just jump right to the extreme behavior so that at least they get attention. And attention is better than no attention. And for them, that is a very meager form of love, but that's what they're doing. And so if you can look at someone and say, oh, they're looking for love, how can you be that presence? Maybe it's to be understanding. This is because infinite presence is love. And there's this natural desire to be aligned with it. We are all craving it in some way. And it may be distorted at times. I mean, I know sometimes my love has been distorted too, my attempt to get it. And I'm learning and learning. At the core of most of us, we believe in two illusions, and that is that I'm separate and that life isn't safe. Would you say that that's true? Especially in those moments when things aren't kind of going smoothly. And you can argue with me and say that, yeah, life is not safe. If you believe life isn't safe, life isn't safe. If you believe that death is the end, then death is the end. But that's not true either. At least I don't believe that to be true. So in our trance, in our hypnotic state, we adopt two methods of operation, trying to control life or trying to do it right. Anybody trying to do it right? Yesterday during that art class, I'll tell you, the paint had another idea. The trying to do it right, it's like I use this analogy that if you manipulate paint too much, it all turns gray. If you manipulate life too much, you get a pretty gray, dull life. It's to be able to do the dance and not do too much, but do what's yours to do. And in paint, it's the same. Know when to stop. Yet because life can't be controlled, we make several assumptions. I'm not doing it right enough, therefore I must be wrong, I'm unlovable, I'm all alone. And I've had those dark moments at 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning. And all dysfunctional behavior is built on this foundation. We can begin to support ourselves and others by unraveling those unrealistic expectations. You know, you hear of people who have certain triggers. And like I talked about one this morning, I spent a few hours organizing all of our supplies for the painting class, and I had them all nicely in little boxes and on a couple of carts, and I was just so happy. And then we had our class, and everything was like a bomb had gone off. And I looked at that and thought, I have a button about organization, and I have to let it go. So I walked away and thought, if I need to find it, I'll find it. So we can stop labeling people when they're performing crazy things as wrong or evil. Instead, know that they're doing the best that they can based on where they're at, that you're doing the best that you can based on where you're at. So you did what you knew how to do, and when you knew better, you did better. Would you say that's true? And do the best that you can until you know better, and then when you know better, do better. These are all things that Maya Angelou in her wisdom said. And Don Miguel Ruiz, he wrote the 4 Agreements and several other books. In his 4th agreement, he says, always do your best. It's important to remember that your best will change depending on your mood, how tired you are, and many other factors. And that even when the end result is crappy, you did your best based on where your mindset was at the time, right? So doing your best means accomplishing without overdoing it, like the paint, and doing things that provide enjoyment from just doing them. I think the one thing in our society, and I'm speaking probably more about me, is that I've been a human doing a lot of the time, not a human being. And in this art process, it's certainly something that's a reminder, is there's a time to stop. There's a time to just be. I remember when I was doing stained glass work, and you're working with very sharp shards of glass until you buffer the edges. I never got a single cut, ever. And it's because I was one with the glass. So whatever you're working on, become one with it, in alignment with it, and you won't get cut. When you do your best, you silence the inner judge. Even if you fail or do a bit worse than yesterday, you can always say, I did my best. And even when you fail, which is inevitable, because we're not going to accomplish everything we set out to do. If you have, I'd like to get to know you a little better. I did my best. And then simply move instead of scolding yourself. Embracing understanding and loving kindness actually creates new habits that reorient you to act out of love instead of fear, which transforms your existence to one of happiness and this idea of profound love. So are you ready to be kinder with yourself? Tell that little talking, whatever it is in your head, to just, go over there and smell the roses while I do this thing. So the 18-inch journey. I'd like for us to read this together. And this was written in the 4 Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. And I have adapted it because some of the verbiage I felt sounded as though it hadn't happened yet, and I like to speak in the present tense, or it spoke to almost a deity out there, even though I know that's not what he's referring to. So if you would, there's several slides. Let's read these together. The prayer for freedom. Today, Creator of the universe, I know our...
And as I remember, I feel this strong communion of love.
There's a word missing in there.
Oh, okay.
I know you are within me.
Oh, okay.
And so just for the audience online, I'll read it again. Today, Creator of the universe, I know you are within me. And as I remember, I feel the strong communion of love. So now let's do this together. I know your real name is love, that to have a communion with you means to share the same vibration, the same frequency that you are, because you are within me and are the only thing that exists in the universe. Wow. Today, I open to be like you are, to love life, to be life, to be love. Today, I love the way you love, with no conditions, no expectations, no obligations, without any judgment. Today, I love and accept myself without any judgment, because when I judge myself, I find myself, I am not at peace. I choose to love everything you create unconditionally, especially other human beings, especially those who live around me, all my relatives and people whom I try so hard to love, because when I reject them, I reject myself, and when I reject myself, I reject you. I choose to love others just the way they are, with no conditions. I accept them the way they are, without judgment, because I deeply and completely love myself. Today, I clear my heart of anything other than love and free my mind from any judgment. I choose to live in complete peace and complete love. Today is a very special day. Today, I open my heart to love again so that I can tell another, I love you, and really mean it. Today, I surrender myself to the love I am. I feel your presence. I speak words of love. I see the beauty. I serve the best way I can. I use my heart to share myself in a communion of love with everyone. Today, Creator, I remember I am you in action, love. I am thankful for everything I received this day, especially for the freedom to be who I really am. Amen. What did you think of that?
Profound.
Yes, if we were to say that every morning, the days would be so different. So the world is you pushed out. Release the worry about anything out there, because you create it in here. So we looked at how life is a mirror. We looked at what we want and knowing that there is something out there already for you. And when you take the 18-inch journey, that you can transform your life. So let's do it now with Emilio and Harry Lewis.
Now it is dawn, I am where I belong, I am healed, I am whole, I am waking. Now I can see, I can get all I need. It is here within me for the taking. Now I unfold and I feel in my soul I am free, I am whole, I am making every day. I was lost and alone, like a leaf on the ocean, tossed here and there, feeling fear and despair, mixed emotions. Then I woke up one day, I decided to pray. I stopped running away. Now I believe I can give and receive endless love, endless peace, endless pleasure. Now only faith from my heart radiates to all the world I
mercy, I ran out of paper. So, my takeaway, yours could be different from mine. When Matt said everyone is me pushed out, I automatically had this image of a forcing bag full of some kind of biscuit dough or cookie dough, and and whatever comes out, that's me.
That's good.
I did do an inventory, and most of it is good, so I feel blessed that way. Also, I like the use of the word trance, the quotation from Tony Robbins, where we are actually in a trance that we have to wake up from. It's the trance of limitation. So that's something to remember. And from the prayer, I'm taking away, today I love the way you love, the Creator loves. Creator, I remember I am you in action. I hope you take away more. So let's turn our attention to conscious giving. As always, we are very, very appreciative of the support in the community, and there's a certain kind of uplifting energy that I'm feeling. I don't know if you feel it too. We accept either your offering here in the sanctuary by way of envelope through e-transfers to admin@unityspiritualcenter.com or by way of checks made out to Unity Spiritual Center. And so for every gift that we receive today, we offer this affirmation with your hand on heart. Divine love that I am blesses all I give and all I receive. Thank you. I have an announcement. It seems we are on an art roll. So we've just concluded a paint pouring session, and now we're moving on to Saturday, July 15th. There'll be 3 weeks of a layering process, so it seems as if you should be there from the beginning to the end. And this one is Silhouette Fluid Acrylics as meditation. And then come September, we're going to have another mandala course, Creating an Expression of You, 5-week journey. And in November, creating cards using neurographic drawing. So it seems exciting to me. I hope you are excited too, and you will grace us with your presence. And for those online, everything I'm reading is on our website if you go there and click the Classes tab.
Notice all the songs had the word wake up. Feel the way through the darkness, guided by a beating heart. I can't tell where the journey will end, but I know where to start. Tell me I'm too young to understand. They say I'm caught up in a dream. Well, life will pass me by if I don't open up my eyes. Well, that's fine by me. So wake me up when it's all over, when I'm wiser and I'm older. All this time I was finding myself and I didn't know I was lost. So wake me up when it's all over, when I'm wiser and I'm older. All this time I was finding myself and I didn't know I was lost. but I only have 2 hands. I hope I get the chance to travel the world, but I don't have any plans. Wish that I could stay forever this young, not afraid to close my eyes. Life's a game made for everyone, and love is the prize. So wake me up when it's all over, when I'm wiser and I'm older. All this time I was finding myself, and I didn't know I was lost. Wake me up when it's all over, when I'm wiser and I'm older. All this time I was finding myself, and I didn't know I was lost. Didn't know I was lost. Didn't know I was lost. I didn't know I was lost. I didn't know I was lost. So wake me up when it's all over, when I'm wiser and I'm older. All this time I was finding myself, and I didn't know I was lost.
What a perfect choice of song. I love that. And I've heard it before. Yeah, it's beautiful. So know that we are here to pray with you. There is a prayer box here in the center, and it is in the other room. You can place your prayer requests in there, or you can send us a prayer request, either to me directly or to prayer@unityspiritualcenter.com. And again, Don Miguel Ruiz in the Four Agreements wrote this prayer for love, which I have adapted. So please read along with me if that's comfortable. Thank you, Creator of the universe, the resource within me, for the gift of life you have given me. Thank you for giving me everything I have ever truly needed. Thank you for the opportunity to experience this beautiful body and this wonderful mind. Thank you for living inside me with all your love, with your pure and boundless spirit, and with your warm and radiant light. Thank you for my words, for my eyes, for my heart, as I share your love wherever I go. I love you just the way you are, and because I am your creation, I love myself just the way I am. Today, I keep the love and the peace in my heart, and to make love a new way of life, as I live in love the rest of my life. Amen.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that is meant to be, with God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me, let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my solemn vow, to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us again this week. Hopefully you're feeling loved and loving. I love you. See you next week.